It seems like the longer I am with Candela, the more questions I have.
Or maybe it was a sort of revenge.
Unfortunately, this is going to leave a scar.
I have a sufficient amount of nerves with just about everything I do. And that's true for when I'm playing at the CR table in our main campaign. But if I'm writing on a new project, I feel nervous about that. But it always feels like a brand new thing that you've never done. But of course, you know, you're building reps and it accumulates over time. And I guess I've just learned to live with the nerves and also enjoy them to a degree. They're sort of like that electric current that's running underneath. The advice I give to everyone is always just start, because you learn by doing and there are no right answers. There's just what you come up with in the moment. It's collaborative storytelling. You are just telling a story and everything is in service of that. So there were moments where in a flash in my head in the heat of it going, well, how am I supposed to rule on this? I don't know. It's this. And that's right. I mean, you're just there to tell a story together. Critical Role started with a game that happened as a lark on accident, and we never had that, didn't really have a session zero, although we talk tons about what we do, and we always have, but there wasn't that session zero, and so I've really, over the years, just sort of fallen in love with that. Every game that I have ever run, be that for the one-shots here at Critical Role, or a group of friends, adults, and then I run a game for my children. And before every campaign, we've talked about what we're hoping it to be.
It's not that easy. There used to be a spike here with a rope tied to it going to the other side.
What happened to the spike?
I don't know.
Are we going up or down?
Across.
Oh.
I adored my session zero in the previous circle, and I adored this one too, because you don't really know what the story is going to be until you have that session zero and get to know the personalities and what their drives are going to be. And it's kind of like a chemistry class. So you're saying, well, I'm gonna have a little of this and a little of that and a little of that. Okay, if I add those things together, what's the compound that I'm gonna get out of it? You know, I had ideas for things I wanted to do before that session zero and had to then adjust and course correct and accommodate other ideas to make sure that everyone was getting to do the thing that they're good at. You know, if you're a surgeon, then there better be a reason to operate.
They call me Sonny.
Sonny, pleasure to meet you. My name's Dr. Lycoris. I'm here to help you. Now I need you to try and be very still.
A game of Candela is different than a game of Dungeons & Dragons or Cyberpunk. You're telling a very specific kind of story. You know that you're going down a dark tunnel. You know that it is going to be an inward tale of horror and mystery.
Into the trenches. Mm-hmm. Into the trenches we go.
I like the introspection and the interplay between characters as you're walking down that path together. And you're exploring very different things intensely for the hours you spend together at the table.
Into the abyss we go.
I think this system does allow for more freedom to roleplay and feeling like there's no fetters on you. I love many heavier game systems. I love knowing the details for features and spells and knowing what can happen in these moments. But with the system we use within Candela Obscura, it allows you to not worry about anything and just follow story. And then the dice are there when you need something judged or a dispute figured out, or any time where things get hard enough or tense enough or difficult enough that it can't just be, well, yeah, you did it and it's great. There needs to be risk, but it does feel like, oh, I'm just role-playing. I'm role-playing and the dice are a tool.
A crack of thunder rumbles down from above, and subsequent flashes of lightning briefly illuminate the clouds as the skeleton crew of this tiny ship stressfully yell to one another over the roar of the waves. You are beginning to wonder if you will survive this night. Everyone take a mark in brain. That's right, none of you have said a word, and I am coming for you.
Starting off a campaign is one whole fun decision, like how you are easing your characters and players into the game, or how you're throwing them violently into it. And there's no right answer, just like there's no way to start a book or a film. You know, I love My Dinner with Andre, but I also enjoyed Con Air. So I thought for a while about how I wanted to kick this one off, and I like seeing characters reveal themselves in the middle of a crisis. I like that angle, and that's why we did what we did. That's why we were on the Dandridge.
All right, I'll go down into the drink. I could never forgive myself if I let them perish.
And you guys lock eyes with him, just as he's about to lower, out of sight.
Malcolm! Grimoria! Now!
Just wish me luck, guys.
No!
I like to have both moments within the chapter of your story, the game you're playing, where characters sort of interface with their own story and have character moments and talk to each other.
I'm not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to fix and save people. I'm supposed to fix what's wrong. And I instead flipped my knowledge on its head and used it to end a woman's life.
And then I also like to, end in a way that excites the table and then makes them want to know what's going to happen next. So I definitely tried to do that, both with each game in its entirety, but also the same with the intermission.
And all of you start to plummet. Fast.
If running a game is a gift for your friends, then you want to make sure that you're gifting your friends. So you want to find time, map out time, even if it's loosely mapped out in every game where they get to do the things that they love to do or be thwarted and held away from that thing. And then also knocking them sideways with big moments that make them want to read the next chapter. Speaking as a player, I don't mind having a certain amount of knowing where boundaries are too, because you can sort of err in the wrong direction and go, gosh, I have no idea what I'm even supposed to do or where I'm supposed to go, and that can be fun. But I also like having a purpose, and it allows me to improvise and role play with an objective in mind, with a direction in mind. And I don't feel less creative. I feel more creative knowing that at least I know that I have to go from here to there, and how I do it and what I say and the relationships and the interactions we have can be anything we want on the way. And I know that I have to get those bones, and if I don't, everything is foobar. But how I do it, that's up to me to roleplay. Alex has a love for the macabre and just has such a track record with the strange and monstrous. He does so much work, and I was so happy to get to spend as many hours as I did really sinking our claws into something together like this. And I loved his sort of quiet integrity through the whole thing. I love an uproarious character, I love a funny character, I love an outgoing character, but don't sleep on subtle nuance. And watching him sort of grapple with becoming, whether it's self-defense or not, of becoming a killer was riveting to watch from my seat across the table.
The man hits the ground and crawls lamely, pathetically to the center of the room and starts to sink into the stone, looking directly into Grimoria's face.
Amy is a phenomenal role player, and we're in a world now where role-playing games are used in an entertainment sphere. And sometimes people go, but they're just acting. What do you think role-playing is? That's what an actor's job is. You are playing a role. I'm always bowled over by Amy's raw emotion, but I also was surprised by and changed course on a bunch of things by her deciding that when Grimoria sort of interfaced with the supernatural, that she often melded with them and felt their last moments or their memories, and that's nothing that I set out with.
Betrayal. Traición. This dagger, very powerful dagger, was used in the ultimate act of betrayal.
In addition to her just being brilliant to work with, I will remember how she surprised me with her choices and how much that influenced what I did for the back 2/3 of this story.
Oh,
What is it?
I sense a very deep loyalty in you. But no one sees it. You're very underappreciated.
I brought Amari in because I have directed him a significant amount for video game projects, and he's just a lovable guy and extremely talented. So I just knew that he would come to the table with the sense of fun that he always brings to the booth when I work with him.
What is wrong with you? That was the most conspicuous thing I've ever seen anybody do.
You win some, you lose some.
How were you ever going to win that?
You never know. Who knows where you can get your information from? Sometimes, when you're a little bit high on the drink, you get a little more information than you think.
No, I'm not.
That made a rhyme.
Never mind. I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about you.
And he did not disappoint. He came in wanting to make a badass in the world of New Fair, and he did that. And I am not convinced still that his dice aren't loaded, and especially in the last encounter, I don't know how you roll that many 6s.
But you, with your size and the stitch in your side, I will want you to make a move. Roll again as you travel.
Burn and drive.
Because you moved all the way back to the beginning. You have to start over.
I'm gonna burn and drive on that. I'm gonna run 3.
I'd say he's pretty solid for this one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let us know if you need.
I saw the other
two from here.
There's a 5. Outside of 5.
Somehow you did
Leopath?
something terrible just to get good
Cadellas?
rolls.
This is some of my favorite play at a table from Taliesin ever. He really just delighted and surprised me and made plussed things left and right from start to finish.
I suppose money does things to people I wouldn't know. I've never not had it.
We all know that how many eons old Taliesin is, and he has knowledge of alchemy and witchcraft and society and history that he brings to the table and brings to this world. I mean, he summoned New Fair into being, so it shouldn't have surprised me, but it really did.
Love is special. Love is wonderful. Love is always different. It's honestly a dull word. We use it for far too many things. I wish I could love someone, love my friends, love a cheesecake, all in different ways, but unfortunately we've been given one word for all of this.
We role play so that we can sort of explore things that we never want to do or never would do or won't have a chance to do. It's, you're stepping into other shoes.